So we are going to do another product review. Good morning. For those of you who don't know, my name is Maya Karen. I run a fashion blog called Classically Kept. It does feature luxury, contemporary, and how to style, and now natural hair care and hair care topics. So if you are into any of those things, please consider subscribing to my channel. Click the notification bell. That way you will never miss a video. So I've done this before with a Divi product and you guys really liked it. One of the reasons why I love doing these types of videos is because we are literally going to go through every single ingredient in this product, but I know many of you do not have time to do that. So we are literally going to pull up the product and we are going to go through all of the ingredients. But before we do that, so I do want to introduce you guys to Mina. She is the owner and CEO of Basique Opulence. She does have her own natural hair care company, but I also want to show you guys a book that she has come out with. And the reason why I want to share it with you is because it actually is going to help us today. So this is it right here. It is called Natural Hair, Natural Life, your guide to flawless natural hair care and non-toxic natural hair products. But I quickly want to, why I love this book, I quickly want to go to page 30. This is part 8 and it talks about ingredients of concern. We're all very familiar, and I hate to keep bringing this company up, but we are all very familiar with what happened in 2024 with Mielle. This is the reason why I want to be transparent, or I want to start for us to be aware of what is actually in our products and how we use them. Part 8, ingredients of concern. And the reason why I like this as well is because it is a PDF and she goes through a lot, unfortunately, she goes through a lot of the ingredients in some of our most beloved hair care. So if you are someone who is gung-ho, or if you are someone who is looking to kind of weed out bad ingredients, this is the book for you. I will leave the link down below, but like I said before, we are getting ready to introduce another product. I have used it myself, so it is going to be this right here. It is the Camille Rose Temp Tamer. I have used this twice already and I absolutely love it. The last time you guys saw me use this was when I went for my final trim check for the Chebe journey. Even my stylist talked about how shiny and how soft and not dry my hair was. So I was thinking to myself, okay, this is a product that I really like. Let's go ahead and introduce it to the community, and let's also go ahead and look at the ingredients. So right here, let's start with what it claims it can do. So it says a shiny, silky, healthy hair. Our crystal clear silicone free blowout spray detangles, conditions, smooths, and seals every strand for superior thermal protection. Nourishing jojoba, avocado, I believe that's Abyssinian oil, infused, touchable, soft, and guard all textures against high heat for brilliant, high gloss shine with a salon-like finish. That is what I noticed. Y'all know that I don't particularly care for bone straight hair or flat hair. I noticed that when I used the Temp Tamer, it did help detangle. My hair was very moisturized, but it gave me like this voluminous blowout, which you guys know I absolutely love. The bigger the hair, the better. And like I said before, when it comes to our products, we need to make sure that we understand what is in our products, and we also need to make sure that we are aware of how to use them. So it says right here, how to use. It says before blow drying, spritz generously throughout damp or wet hair and massage in with hands. For maximum protection, use a vented paddle or detangling brush to distribute from root to tip before styling. Now there are a couple of claims right here, and it says why you'll love it. So starting with this one, ultimate heat protector. Shield your hair from heat damage while locking in moisture so your curls stay healthy and vibrant. And then it is a lightweight formula. I noticed this as well. It did not weigh my hair down. It says, unlike heavy heat protectants, Temp Tamer nourishes without buildup, keeping your hair soft, weightless, and frizz-free. And then the last one, it says multitasking magic. It's also a detangler, frizz fighter, and hydration booster for smooth, manageable locks every day. Okay. One more quick thing that I do want to show you down here. It says, how does Temp Tamer compare to other heat protectants? It says, unlike any traditional heat protectant spray that coats the hair without nourishing it, I noticed that as well. Typically when we're talking about a heat protectant, we know that it is silicone based, and to help with the heat, it puts a layer on the hair. And we know that curly, kinky, coily hair is already naturally dry. So unfortunately, when we are doing our silk presses and we are using a silicone based heat protectant, it can often leave our hair dry. It says, Temp Tamer hydrates, detangles, and enhances your natural texture. It's specifically designed for curly, coily, and wavy hair, providing heat protection without sacrificing bounce or movement. And like I said, I do agree with that part. My hair was stretched, but it wasn't flat. It was still bouncy and it was still flowy. I do want to point out one thing because I have had this question before. Does it specifically state on the bottle at what temperature you should or should not use it? It does not, but it does say that it is specifically for kinky and coily hair at high temperatures, okay? So let's go ahead and get into the ingredients, the full ingredient list. Okay, so on y'all's screen, I'm going to highlight each ingredient that we are talking about, and then I'm going to read what it is and what it does on my Word document, and then once I do the post-production, I'll put it below so you can read it, okay? So first, let's start out with the very first ingredient, and we do know that when it comes to ingredients or that when it comes to products, the first 5 is what is mostly in the product, and then as you keep going down the list, or as you keep going down the ingredients list, it's less and less and less and less, okay? So the very first one is isohexadecane. It is used in cosmetics and personal care, and it is a solvent. It is also an emollient with a non-greasy feel. It helps to moisturize and soften the skin, leaving a smooth, silky feel. So the first one that I do want to go over is an emollient. And what is that? So an emollient is a substance that softens, smooths, and hydrates the skin. It works by forming a protective layer on the skin that traps moisture and prevents water loss. And you are going to be seeing the word emollient a lot in this heat protectant ingredient list. This is also a good thing. It is also non-comedogenic, and basically what comedogenic is, there is a comedogenic scale, and it goes, I believe, from like 1 to 4 or 1 to 5, and it will tell you what is the likelihood of that ingredient or that compound or that chemical substance, the likelihood of it clogging your pores. So for the isohexadecane, it is non-comedogenic, meaning that it is very low on that scale, and it does not have the potential to clog your pores. It's going to be C12-15 alkyl benzoate. What is it? It is an ester, which is an organic compound formed by a reaction between an acid and an alcohol, where the hydrogen atom of the acid's hydroxyl group is replaced by an alkyl or an aryl group. This type of ester, what we're talking about, acts as an emollient, right? And we know that it helps moisturize and soften the skin. This ingredient also provides light conditioning and leaves the hair feeling soft but not greasy. And I did notice this as well. The next one is coconut alkanes. So this is actually derived from coconut oil, and it is used as an emollient and a solvent. It is used as an alternative to a silicone. We do know, like I said before, that a silicone can form a layer or a coat over the hair, leading to dry hair, especially when it comes to kinky and coily hair. But I do want to put on here, it does say, please note, coconut oil and coconut alkanes are comedogenic in nature. People with oily and acne-prone skin should be aware, and they should just be careful when they're using these types of products. Remember, we talked about that comedogenic scale. We all know that coconut oil had its craze. Everybody was going crazy with coconut oil, and we do know that it is very high on the comedogenic scale. All right, next right here is going to be jojoba oil. And we know this to be a great carrier oil. It has very good moisturizing properties. And we also know that jojoba oil, which is why a lot of people like it, actually mimics the natural oils on your scalp. So for most people, it should not irritate. Whenever we are talking about these products, especially when it comes to oils, essential oils, and carrier oils, you should always do a patch test. Now, what I do also want to talk about is that unlike coconut oil, this is a non-comedogenic. And we know that because it does mimic the natural oils on the scalp. The next one is going to be cocoa caprate or cocoa caprylate. I do want to say this because when I was doing the research, the question was, is this the same thing as coconut oil? And it is not. It says that cocoa caprylate is derived from coconut oil, but it is processed into an ester. So this provides excellent moisturization and shine to hair, provides a soft and silky feel. And just like the jojoba oil, this is non-comedogenic, and it can restore strength and shine to damaged hair. The next one is going to be ethyl linolate. Now, when it comes to this one, this also acts as an emollient, meaning it's going to help soften and moisturize the hair and scalp, potentially making hair smoother and more manageable. It also helps to maintain a healthy scalp by strengthening the skin barrier and potentially reducing irritation from common hair care products. Okay, so for this particular ingredient, I did find an interesting article or an interesting study from NIH. I will link it in the comment section. But it's basically talking about it significantly inhibits melanin production. I will leave that down below. As I said, I want to make sure that I'm being upfront with these ingredients. And basically to me, what that means is that it significantly inhibits melanin content or melanin production. But like I said, I will link it down below. But like I said a little bit earlier in this video, I know for myself, I don't necessarily spray my heat protectant on my scalp. I might do it close, or I might, try to get my roots a little bit, but I don't know anybody who actually sprays their heat protectant on their scalp, okay? So it's just something for you to think about. All right, the next one is going to be ethyl olate. And this is a fatty acid. It is also an emollient, and it is a moisturizing agent. All right, the next one is going to be the absinical oil. And this is rich in moisturizing uric acid. The oil improves manageability and it adds a glossy finish to your strands. Okay, and then after that is going to be this right here. It's going to be a sunflower seed oil, which we know to be a great oil as well. It is packed with linoleic acid and vitamin E. It is a lightweight oil, helps to lock in moisture. It can also help smooth the cuticle for a soft and frizz-free finish. And then the next ingredient after that is going to be avocado oil. I've been using avocado oil for years. I actually like it better than olive oil. So as far as avocado oil, it helps nourish the hair wonderfully. It helps moisturize the hair, and it can actually penetrate the hair shaft. It can help to build up strength from heated styling tools and abrasive weather conditions. That's the reason why I really like the avocado oil. And I do also want to point out that when it comes to the Basique opulence, what I was just talking about, like I said, she has her own hair care company, and she actually has, I believe it is the grapeseed oil. If I'm talking about the wrong product, I will put it right here. But I'm also interested in that because that is a natural heat protectant as well. All right, and let's move on to the next one. So next right here, you see fragrance. Now, I don't know, how healthy you guys are. I don't know if you're a health buff. I don't know what you know or understand when it comes to the word fragrance or perfume. You typically see this in products, and let me just read to you. It says when fragrance or perfume is listed on a product label, it typically refers to a blend of chemicals that gives the product its scent. This blend can include natural or synthetic ingredients and may contain numerous individual chemicals. Due to trade secret laws, manufacturers often do not list the specific chemicals that make up the fragrance. The exact composition of a fragrance is often considered a trade secret, meaning companies are not required to disclose all of the individual ingredients. Now, myself, I have used several Camille Rose products and I have not had any issues. And I know here recently, a lot of you have been talking about their Chebe line. So I just want you to keep that in the back of your mind. And really, when you're looking at a lot of products, like especially your deodorants, you will see that perfume and you will see fragrance. Just be aware, just be mindful. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Now, benzyl alcohol. So I know a lot of times, especially when it comes to kinky, coily hair and just hair in general, whenever we see the word alcohol, we are supposed to steer clear. We are not supposed to use we're not supposed to use any product that has an alcohol ingredient in it. Benzyl alcohol is used as a preservative in products to prevent microbial growth. Most of the time we are told alcohols can be drying, but for this one, this is not a drying alcohol. You guys are thinking about the alcohol that your parents or your mother used to put on you that would sting whenever you would get a cut. This is not that. I will link down a video below, or I will link an article down below talking about the different types of alcohol. All alcohols are not bad, okay? And then the next one is going to be benzoate. And for this one, benzoyl benzoate can be used to cleanse the scalp, remove dirt and oils, thus helping to maintain a healthy scalp environment. And I love that. I think oftentimes we neglect our scalp when really we need to make sure that we are being just as diligent with our scalp like with the rest of our hair. So next, let's move on to benzoyl salicylate. And this is typically used for fragrance. It helps make the product smell good. But what I do find interesting about this and what I do love about this is that it has UV protection properties. We're all aware that whenever it comes to our silk press season, whether you decide to silk press your hair during the cooler months or the warmer months, especially in the warmer months, I know for myself, I often go to a lot of football games. I'm typically wrapped up. Sometimes I'm not, but most of the time I am. I like the fact that this has UV protection properties. All right, and the next ingredient is going to be D-limonene, and the benefits for this. It is a naturally occurring compound often found in citrus fruit peels. It helps to retain moisture in the hair, keeping it soft and healthy. May strengthen hair strands, reducing breakage and improving manageability. Another good thing is that it is an anti-inflammatory and antioxidant. It has properties, can help soothe the scalp and protect hair from damage. It can also help combat dandruff and other scalp issues by inhibiting the growth of fungi and bacteria. All right, so the next ingredient is going to be hydroxycitronellyl, and this is basically used as a fragrance, adding a sweet floral scent. I do want to point out that this is a known irritant, so if you do have sensitive skin, just be aware. All right, and our last ingredient for this product is going to be linalool. And for this one, it conditions the hair, it moisturizes the hair, and it also has anti-inflammatory properties, and it can help relax and soothe an inflamed scalp. So really quickly, I just want to tell you where you can find this. Full disclosure, Camille Rose, I am a Camille Rose ambassador. They did send it to me. I have only seen it at Ulta, and I have seen it on the Camille Rose website. I have not seen it pop up on Amazon, Walmart, or Target. I checked this morning before I did this video, okay? So of course I will link it down below. And like I said in the beginning of this video, I absolutely love this product. For me, this is not a product that I'm going to be using every month, every week, even a couple of months. It's going to be a product that I use whenever I go for a trim check and whenever I decide to straighten my hair. Y'all know that I straighten my hair once a month, but I am definitely switching over. I was using the L'Oreal. I'll pop up a picture. I was using that. Although it did work and it did protect my hair, after using it and after blow drying my hair was very dry. So let me know in the comments if you are going to try this. It does smell amazing, but oftentimes we do know that just because something smells amazing does not mean that it's going to benefit our hair. Also, I am not a scientist, so when it comes to these videos, these are very basic videos. I just want to make sure that we are clear about what is in our products. You know, the other thing that I'm going to say when it comes to heat, just be aware and just be diligent when it comes to your heat use on your hair. And lastly, be sure to check out Amina's book. I will link the book down below. I love it because it is an easy read. It is a PDF, which means you can use it on the go, and I love it for the ingredients. And then also I will link down her natural and holistic hair care company. I just want to remind you here on YouTube, I do upload videos every Wednesday and Sunday. And of course, right here, I'll put my Instagram handle. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, you guys. Bye.
We always have it coming.